Welcome back, everyone. It's been a minute. I had to take some vocal rest, and so I couldn't really stream for a week. And plus, I was like not getting good enough sleep, and so I couldn't do it, unfortunately. But in my absence, the devs have come out with an update, and they released the Fighter and Monk. And unfortunately, I thought they were going to release the Deep first, but it doesn't seem like they were going to do that. Or they weren't able to do that, I should say. But if you're seeing me for the first time, I'm Salty EQ Vet. Longtime MMO player, retired combat veteran. I'm exclusively broadcasting Monsters and Memories, although I might go into some other games here and there. Games that I find fun, but the game that we're streaming is called Monsters and Memories. It is a classically inspired MMORPG, a spiritual successor to EverQuest, at least in my opinion. So hopefully, I forgot to actually... There's always something I forget to do, and I forgot to turn off my AC. But that's alright. It seems like I'm coming through very clear to people. Or at least on my... At least on my end it shows. And so, we're going to take a look at Iron Mike here. The new fighter. Here we go. And I had to do some setup with this character. Of course, we used Idoran, or Indoran. I remember talking to a player that owns this stall, and they were kind of complaining that they weren't able to see anything. So they have done a little bit of some back-end stuff here. The patch day, I was able to get on, and they weren't having a really good time. Bank access was kind of weird, and you would lose like all of your items in your bank. They would just disappear. They were still there. And like spell abilities were just not there anymore, or they would just disappear again. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at the overview of the fighter. I brought it up here. Let me take a look here. Give me 1 second here, guys. I'll be right back because that air conditioning is annoying me. 1 second. I'll pull up the browser here, what we're going to be taking a look at. We'll take a look at the deep dive of the fighter in just a second. I'll be right back. Alright, there we go, better audio quality, because I do have noise suppression, and it just kind of makes me sound muffled on my end, although people can hear me just fine. Let me see where we are at here. There we go. Go ahead and transition. I know on Kick, it doesn't really mind the OBS settings, so when there's like no studio mode, but on YouTube and in Twitch, it actually obeys OBS, but Kick it doesn't, so I gotta be careful. So you don't see me picking my nose or anything. Let's take a look at the class fighter. Let me make sure that this is up to date here. Let's see if we can... Properties, we'll go ahead and refresh. There we go. No, maybe not. Make sure that's coming in through. Very good. It doesn't seem like it is, unfortunately. But we'll go ahead and pretend that it is. A little rusty from broadcasting or not broadcasting for an entire week. And again, the reason was my vocal cords were going out. So we'll take a look at the deep dive fighter here in just a second. Let me see if I can unscrew myself. Doesn't seem like. Let's go to properties. It doesn't seem like it wants to do it. I was able to pull it up. Let me try this really quick. And there's something usually that goes wrong. Capture here. Let's go to properties. There we go. Okay. That's the one. Hey, there we go. And transition. Make sure you guys can see what I'm seeing. Alright, we'll go ahead and just read through this really quick before we dive into the stream. Fighters are among the classes with the fewest abilities, so much so. This update, it is an additive focus on filling out their toolkit with satisfying upgrades or upgrade paths, which is true because we only got like 15 abilities when we had before the revamp. Just like we had with the Archer, very few abilities, but it did what it said on the tin. Basically, very, very bare bones type of fighter stuff or class abilities, although they did scale. So, well, we're going to be seeing a few more things with this. We're introducing retaliation abilities and vengeance mechanics in their kit, allowing fighters to continue dealing damage while solo or tinking for a group. Most of their current abilities remain intact, but expect some balancing adjustments as we tune numbers between classes. Meaning, okay, so this is the first iteration, so expect some changes to occur. To set up your expectations, we are aiming for the fighter to do more DPS than most tanks, which is good, but less DPS-centric classes like Rogue or Monk. Okay, makes sense. As Master of Arm themed classes, fighters now have a number of abilities requiring specific weapon types, which is really good. So, like if you have a great sword or sword and board, we're going to have different abilities based on that, which I kind of like. You'll want to choose a loadout based on your weapons, or alternatively bring multiple weapons and swap them based on the encounter, which is good. There's also been a shakeup in regards to cooldowns. All shouts are now on shared cooldowns, while taunt is no longer a shared cooldown with unwavering shout. Shield bash is now on a cooldown with shield block instead of frenzy. Okay, not sure. Well, I'm sure we'll run into that soon. Retaliation / vengeance. This is a new mechanic specific to fighters, granting them automatic while fighting in their stances. When taking damage, you'll have a chance to generate a stack of vengeance buffs. Okay, very cool. Which you can spend on a few abilities. Frenzy. Eviscerate your target with a frenzy attacks of dealing weapon ratio damage up to 5 times and increasing your attack speed. Okay, very cool. This ability consumes all of your vengeance, performing a weapon strike for each stack consumed. It has a higher baseline damage than before, so the hits should feel a bit more satisfying. Okay, cleave. Cleave through targets in a frontal cone. Okay, so kind of like a 180-degree arc, which is what I'm assuming, dealing weapon ratio damage plus physical damage. This is a two-handed ability, consumes 1 stack of vengeance. Okay, very cool. Second Wind, catch your second wind, restoring health every few seconds. This ability consumes a stack of vengeance in return for a short-term regen. Vengeance stacks fade relatively quickly, so using this after a fight is a good way to burn the leftover stacks. The amount healed scales with the stamina stat. Ooh, cool. Fighters retain their offensive and defensive stance while getting a third. Tactician stance. Shift into a tactician stance, increasing your resistance to root, stun, incapacitate effects. This stance is useful for pulling specific encounters like PvP. Okay, so this is my issue. Yes, we had PvP in EverQuest. sometimes I think they focus too much on PvP, and like I know the PvPers out there, hey, God bless you, but like, you know, the main focus of this game or a game like this should be PvE. I know they do have a PvP server. If I was in charge, I'd probably just like have that as an afterthought until we like actually launch the game. But you know, hey, I'm not in charge, so, and maybe luckily so, you know, for some people out there. Melee abilities. Some existing abilities have been slightly adjusted. Rend now has a chance to reset Cleave, Feint, in addition to Frenzy and Shield Bash. Shield Bash now interrupts all casting. Very cool. In addition to Rend, Kick, and Clobber, fighters gain Crosscut. Cut through your targets with dual weapons. Interesting. Dealing weapon ratio damage and plus physical damage per equipped weapon. This is a DW-based attack on the same cooldown as Rend. It deals more raw damage than Rend while lacking the ability to reset your cooldowns. Okay. Feint, outmaneuver your targets with Feint, dealing weapon ratio damage plus physical damage, decreasing their agility and knocking them off balance. Since this attack is one on the same cooldown as Frenzy and Cleave, it's best to use when you don't have Vengeance available to fuel other attacks. Monks can also take advantage of this off-balance state and empower their own abilities. Okay, so you kind of feed into other classes. That's very cool. Knee breaker. Smash the knees of your targets, decreasing their movement speeds. Neat. Very neat. Range. Challenging arrows. Fire an arrow of challenge at your target, dealing weapon ratio damage plus physical damage and increasing your threat gain against them. Okay, so basically you're pulling. So yeah, typically when you're playing the fighter, before the weapon revamp, you would use, since they can use all the weapons, all martial weapons, they would be able to get a bow, and so you would just, you know, you would have arrows, and you would just use the arrows to pull, so you don't have to go up and like smash a bunch of target in the face. They would come to you, which I like. Although you actually have to physically, you had to physically press the shoot button in order for that to occur. That is different than the archer where you just press Q, and you automatically just auto attack with the bow, which I mean I kind of get. Other abilities: shield block, raise your shield in defense and temporarily absorbing damage received. This is cool, as implied with the ability required with shield. Juggernaut, charge your target like a juggernaut, immobilizing them. Additionally, your threat generation is temporarily increased and all damage received is reduced. Neat. Vanguard, impede the enemy aggression towards your target, decreasing their threat generation. Okay. This helps you prevent a group member from pulling aggro off of you. Okay, very cool. All right. All right, we're gonna see how this new class handles. Here we are, Iron Mike. I did some setup on this character, so this is typically not gonna be your run-of-the-mill. Let's create a new character and go through all this. They also did some AC changes, thankfully. Thank God. So for a while now, like I was playing Indra and I was like, man, the mobs are just freaking hitting me so goddamn hard, and like I couldn't figure it out. I mean, on the stream, we all struggled with trying to figure this out and why it was the case, but nobody really had an answer for it. So the mobs just did like a flat ratio damage to you when they did the update for the more dangerous world, and so it just kind of like ignored AC altogether. So all that AC that I was trying to stack and I was trying to figure it out what's going on with it, basically it was an attempt at futility, if that makes sense. Let's see. Okay, well, I mean, we're pretty much, I think everything's going to be a blue con here, but we can go ahead and charge the target here. We are level 5. Good to be back, by the way. Good to see you guys again. Battle cry. Got a little bit of battle cry here. We're going to raise our... As far as the stat distribution, I kind of went with a even spread, which I'm glad I did. Typically, with other more specialized classes, you want to stack your your ability scores, but I mean, I kind of went through even because like all these matter because strength, you know, you get it's how hard you're going to hit the target. Stamina obviously governs your health. Agility governs your proccing with your parry, block, and damage avoidance. Dexterity is how well you can actually hit the target, and so the fighter kind of needs all of those stats. So I thought an even spread would probably be the most beneficial thing for us, because they all actually matter to what we actually do. And we are on a human, so we're not going to get the infravision here. The gamma is at 100%, so I apologize if the stream is a little bit dark, but there's not much I can do about that. But I did get a chance to play on patch day. Patch day was kind of a nightmare for everybody, including the dev team, I'm sure. But we gotta kind of give the dev team some grace. They are a small dev team, all volunteer, still. But they did the best they could, and they got it fixed. And typically, I wouldn't recommend starting at Night Harbor, but unless you're like, okay, well, I need that nostalgia Freeport type of stuff, and I get that, and that's why I did this, or why I initially started at Night Harbor. We're gonna go see if we can take on a Wycon. I would say Fail and Draw is a better place to start. You get more money. The quest rewards are a bit better. We already did the class quest with this character, I believe, or at least a good chunk of it. I have to see where I'm at here. Okay, I think this is going to be a Wycon. We'll do another battle cry here. We'll charge our target. All right. Well, you know what? Here, I'm gonna let him have it. We gotta play nice. I mean, we kind of saw it at the same time, but. Alright, let's take a look at the rattlesnake. Rattlesnake is blue. We're going to try to find another Wycon. And of course, I don't want to start like an issue on stream. Even off stream, I'd probably just kind of let the guy have it, even though I should have taken that. The guy really needs the resources. Yeah, that's the other thing with Evershade. There's more humanoid mobs. They drop more cloth, and the rewards for getting the bone chips back into the NPC vendors. Give out tattered cloth gear, which you can break down for more cloth scrap, so you can do some, you know, either for making bandages or doing some trade skilling. We'll do the rattlesnake skin. But level 5, we're doing pretty good, and we got our big old greatsword. What I'm really hoping for, again, this is one of my favorite classes. Like, I would always say, like, hey, you know, like, I'm not a fighter, or I'm not a healer main, but I'm a fighter main, or a tank main, and so they finally updated the tank class, which I'm, like, so grateful for. Let's take a look at this guy. Alright, let's go ahead and battle cry. We'll go ahead and charge the guy. Alright, so that was completely expected to get poisoned, which is probably going to hurt us a little bit as far as our grinding methods go, but I mean, we're doing pretty good. I have to imagine it is the AC buff that we recently got. I got 116, so I'm almost at my druid at level 20. Here at level 5, although I did kind of twink him out a little bit. And think that's fair. Okay, so we're gonna wait for this to go. Wow, 16 seconds. That's a long poison. Wonder with alchemy if we get any sort of anti-venom. Because with alchemy, there's a lot of cool things with alchemy that you do get. You get temporary damage shields, other cool things like I think invisibility might be one of them. Large Dune Bat. We'll go ahead and take a look at our one of the things I do like about the Flatter is that they have really good level scaling with the mobs. I think this is a... no, okay, I thought this was Wycon. And just a little bit of trivia, Iron Mike is actually a figure in the US Army. It's also an exercise drill. And Iron Mike is like the spiritual like personification of like the infantry. Alright, so we're probably going to try to avoid the yellow cons. Well, this guy. Okay, that's a red con. We're probably gonna... we're not gonna do okay with that. Although later in leveling, I mean, it will even out with Evershade as far as Night Harper goes. Hey, if you're just joining us, welcome. If you're coming back in, hey, welcome back. I'm not really looking for anything in particular. Just white cons. So I was doing some testing earlier yesterday when I got this character finally set up. We were holding our own and not taking too much damage. So the devs finally gave us a little bit of a break with the difficulty in this game. Because man, that was rough. I'll have to go back on my druid and take a look at what exactly changed or how much it changed. At least at level 20. See rattlesnakes. Do we want to take on a rattlesnake? We can take on a rattlesnake. It's fine. What I'm not liking is like, oh hey, I need to do a battle cry. Let's see how long is the battle cry. Okay, well, I mean 2 minutes, so I mean they may need to change the cooldown settings on this just a little bit, is what I would say, because I think Unnerving Shout reduces their damage. Let's go ahead and read that. Debilitate your nearby targets with Unnerving Shout, reducing their physical damage by 5% for 30 seconds. Very cool. Oh, it's instant, is it? Neat. Very cool. Let's go to this ridgeline. But yeah, I'm super glad that we got this, the fighter update finally. I thought that was gonna be cleric, and I was like really excited for the cleric, and they announced the fighter and monk, and I was like, oh, okay, well then I'm gonna play the fighter because this is the first, I think, plate armor class that they've revamped. And I've been saying this for months now. I was like, hey, you know what? I'm usually a plate armor class wearer, and this is usually my jam. When I was a kid, like Like, I didn't understand when I was playing EverQuest. I didn't really understand all the classes and the mechanics, and I was like, okay, well, the fighter is like the most straightforward. And so there was kind of this nice grind to it, solo grind to it. And every time you defeated your enemies, you got just a little bit more powerful when leveling. And so it was kind of nice to have that slow, methodical grind and going into new areas. Let's take a look at the giant fire beetle. Okay, so that is, what about the... The only problem is that I don't want to take that on. That might be significantly harder than what we intend. It's a level range. As far as consideration of your targets, and if you're new to this game and you're just seeing it for the first time, none of the mobs will tell you their levels. They won't tell you the buffs on them unless you have sense magic. So you gotta get the sense magic from a friend in order to tell your own debuffs on them as well. But typically it goes from red, yellow, white, blue, or dark blue, blue, dark green, and then light green. Light green is where you don't get any XP at all. We'll just go ahead and start killing stuff, because that's always fun. Nice. Alright, I mean, these should be Wycons. Maybe they changed them. It's been a while since we've been in Night Harbor and leveling around the shaded dunes. I always forget to do my battle cry, did it? That got off. There we go. So I gotta remember is doing battle cry beforehand. It's like a 2-minute buff. So far, we're not doing too bad on mob grinding. See, I believe that's a bandito. That bandito is red. We'll take a look at the crocodile situation here. So I think all of those guys are going to be at least even level with me. Who's this guy? This guy is a bandito? Is he a bandito? I think he is. I think that is a bandit. Desert bat. I'm going to fire beetle snake. I think that's going to be a rotting skeleton. Alright, looks like these guys don't need my help. But we can go along the Croc Coast and we can do some recon. Wherever you guys are, I hope you're doing well today. Of course, we always gotta mention Robert Inkstrand in this soundtrack of Shoreline, one of my favorites. He's done a great job. I have to look when we're gonna get the deep. I know that some of the streamers, I'm in a streamer Discord right now, and some of them are talking about like not coming back until that releases. I almost thought about doing that too, but I was like, ah. Alright, so these are all going to be red, fortunately. Now, one of the strategies with Fighter, what I would recommend is like, hey, you know what? We're trying to just find a white con just for like testing purposes to see how well we do. And the reason why it's like either even level or just maybe slightly above. But typically you kind of get your face punched in a little bit, right? You can survive it, at least at this level. Now at the level 20s, it might change a little bit. because they did say they want to make it they want to make past like level 20 to make it feel like more like the end game. But we'll see. But what my original point is that, hey, like, if you're trying to find a Wycon like I'm doing right now, and if it's not for testing purposes and you're just trying to level off of it, it's probably not time efficient. You probably just want to go with blue cons, at least in this level range. We were trying out that strategy with our druid. It wasn't working out. However, this is a new update, and the AC did get fixed, so maybe we can mitigate some damage from the mobs now. Otherwise, because they were just doing some flat damage and it hurt a lot. To the point where I felt like, you know what, your guys are kind of soft locking out of solo content. And that's been my main thing. That's one of the reasons why I got into this, because like I think some YouTubers out there were giving some really bad advice. They're like, oh, you can't solo with this class. I mean, typically with these games, is that you are able to solo. There is solo content in this game. It's just a matter of how you approach it and how you're able to strategize and take on the mob. And that's the joy of the difficulty of it. Again, this game is going to be in early access come October 1st, hopefully. Again, they do kind of have this habit of delaying things or pushing things back, which we kind of have to take that date with a grain of salt. Although Sean has been consistent with it, and he keeps mentioning it on his stream. Because there is a really big push to get it out, at least October 1st. There we go. We got a large dune bat here. Okay, well, it's deep blue. That's okay. And of course, we forgot to do our battle cry. Take a look at Ren. They had some new idle animations to your character here, which is nice because your character was kind of like a statue a little bit. So now your character will kind of look around every so often. Every update they kind of add a little bit more detail, make it a little bit more professional or something that we would come to expect from an actual MMO RPG. These should be level 1, but they're still like dark blue. Let's see if there's a difference with this rattlesnake. I can't tell the difference between these two blues. That's the problem. So maybe that's in the settings. I'll take a look at that again. Ooh. Probably need to move back. There's not a whole lot of escape options or mobility options I have with the fighter. I do have charge, so I mean, if I am getting chased, what you could do, and again, you could do this, I mean, it's going to be a risk versus reward, is you could, let's say you're getting chased. You hit charge, or you come up on an enemy, hit charge, and then you move past them. You get some distance from the train that's chasing you, if you need to. That's always a viable option. Let's take a look at the Ashira. I think that's how you pronounce the name. Ah, okay. Except that there's a camp already. God. So one of the things with Night Harbor, there's going to be a lot of people around it and in it, which is why I would recommend probably going over to Evershade for a bit. I also don't have my rested bonus up. That's one thing that we do need to get used to, is we need to make sure that we have a lumberjacking axe on us, so we can find wood and make a camp by ourselves when we're out here, because we don't have a lot of mobility when we're with a fighter. I'll let that goblin have it. God damn it. Fuck. Alright. Well, sorry, guys. So everything seems to be kind of camped at this moment. We'll head up to North Gate. And besides, we need to get arrested bonus. But it's good to be back. Good to see you guys. And I do like the artwork on this. I mean, it's a low poly artwork, obviously, but I mean, like the actual detail in the armor and the creases of the shirt, the backpack. I mean, it's very, very detailed. So while it is low poly, where they put their graphics actually do matter. So like the textures, like I don't mind low poly as long as the textures are there. So that's one of the reasons why I can't go back to like actual EverQuest and like play it. Is like the textures are not updated. They haven't put anything remotely into the actual whole game. I mean, here's the problem that EverQuest is running into, like all other MMORPGs that have started at in the 2000s or in the 90s when they were trying to compete with WoW, is that they're kind of like just always keep expanding their content and they don't really update their entire world. And that's kind of what the problem with EverQuest is now. Right, the world is so vast and extensive. Like they kind of shrunk the world to where you're only like the player base is only into like one area. And so the dev team has recognized that. They've mentioned this many times before on their stream, and they're trying to avoid that. So when they're making the world, they're going to try not to expand the world. They're going to try to expand it from within, if that makes sense. So adding more in-game content, whether it be more dungeons or more events, we'll see. But I think this is going to be a very successful game. Make sure that. Oh my goodness, I'm a Riri. Nobody told me that I had to. I was like, I forgot to transition off the fighter. Oh my god, I'm sorry about that. Wow, I feel dumb. Okay, well, sorry about that, guys. I was like, okay, just kind of like went into it and started talking, and like I just didn't even check. I thought I took that off. So, my bad for doing that. Hopefully that wasn't too long. But you know, hey, broadcasting. This is what happens when you're live streaming and you just kind of forget it. You have a window up. My bad, guys. So that should have been, yeah. Okay, well, I mean, hey, we didn't miss too much. I just kind of went through talking about classic EverQuest and what the fighter is. Anyways, we'll do a mulligan. Now, I have done streams where I've like completely muted myself and I've been talking and I'm just like into the void where I can hear myself, but like for whatever reason that muted me in OBS and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, sorry. So I mean, sometimes things happen like that, guys. You'll have to forgive me. But we're gonna head to Northgate. We're gonna try this again. I believe there's gonna be a tavern there, so we got a 60-minute buff. So glad I did check that every so often. I do need to check OBS. one of the great things about this game, go ahead and make sure that everything is fine. One of the great things about this game, there we go, is that there's a lot of like nostalgia put into this. Like the soundtrack makes it very worthwhile. It's not exciting, it just kind of blends into the background. And I think they changed the greatsword, how the greatsword looks, because this used to be a bit thicker. And now it's just a bit longer and thinner. And they got some really cool details on the sword. It's got little nicks and stuff, because it is a tarnished, I believe it's a tarnished greatsword. Tarnished bronze greatsword. So I mean, it does have a really, I do like the color gradient on this. That's very, very nice. Very good job, guys. Well, it's been a week. I'm a little bit rusty. Coming back here. But every time I do stream, every time, like, you know, like this is a hobby. Every time I do stream, I make a mistake, or every stream I've learned something new. I think from last year I learned, you know, I optimized my network. I figured out, you know, I was actually not getting, because I started streaming, I was not getting the actual plan that the cable company was selling me. So and then I got a retroactive deal on my bill because of that. So a lot of little things I've been learning here, becoming a better broadcaster every so often. We don't typically bring up a web browser and read things off, only really when we do something new. Maybe we can go over the monk here while we're at it, while we're resting, and that's probably what I'll do. Bring that back up, and I'll make sure to bring it back down when we move out again. This is going to be a little bit of a shorter stream today. I do have students I got to attend to today. I got to pick up my wife from work earlier than expected. I mean, she only has a 4-hour shift today, so. But I really wanted to stream today. I really wanted to get back in the swing of things, and so, I mean, this is a really good trial run. I am going to try to work on a review. I know that Slayheim is very much encouraging me to do that. Great guy. Check his stream out. Check his channel out. Way better than me at this. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at this. One second. Let's bring this up again. Sorry, guys. Let's do this. Where was this? I got a bunch of stuff on my OBS. The window capture. There we go. Okay, let's take a look at. We'll go to the monk, see what the monk's changes are, because the monk was actually a pretty powerful class before the revamp. Alright, we're gonna go down here, because this has always been up. Okay, let's take a look at the deep dive. Over here, as mentioned in the initial class update, one of the biggest changes to the monk is thematic, okay. Pivoting away from the elemental theme and more towards the traditional spiritual one, okay. Most original monk kit remains intact, with the exception of Way of the Water, which has been removed and associated with its associated group heal. That group heal was really good. So, like they were definitely good off healers when we needed them, especially when I was on the druid, and they were actually really good. It was really helpful. Okay, so styles, the 4 Way of stances have been remapped to 3 styles. Sun style, assume the sun-based fighting style. Increase your offensive. Additionally, a celestial strike reverberates through to your target's soul, dealing magic damage after a few seconds. Okay. Moon style, assume the moon based off of fighting style. Increase your dodge block, and additionally, celestial fury further increases your block, reducing your physical damage received for its duration. Very cool. Wind style, assume the wind-based fighting style. Increase your movement speed. Additionally, Celestial Fury grants you a chance to strike your target a second time on a melee attack. Okay. Feign, death, and pulling. Uh-oh. In this patch, we fixed a long-standing bug that prevented any chance of re-aggro after mobs standing up from Feign. Though re-aggro after Feign is now possible, the chances of it occurring have been massively reduced, allowing the monk to adapt. Considering how long this bug has been present, it'll probably take a bit of tuning to dial the chance in. Okay. Introducing a new change to how NPCs loiter after successful feign. NPCs that have damage will loiter much longer than untouched ones, giving you a little more control over timing when they reset. Maximum loiter times have been reduced overall as well. Okay. Furthermore, monks gain a couple abilities that show the assistance of them pulling and splitting packs of mob. Okay, very cool. All right, let's make sure that I'm. All right, we are. Wanted to check OBS again. Sorry, I'm a little paranoid. Pinning throw. Throw a weapon at your target, dealing weapon ratio damage, immobilizing them. This is an upgrade version of throw that briefly pins the target in place, throwing or allowing you to stagger one of them, one of the pack a bit behind the rest. Okay, so basically, yeah, this is just a bit more calculable. Double-handed strike. Strike your target with both hands, knocking them back, decreasing their movement speed. Okay, so a snare. Mobility. Monks gain a couple mobility tools beyond their wind style buff, or their wind style buff. Flying kick. Flying kick. Leap towards your target to deliver a devastating flying kick, dealing physical damage. This ability scales with your dexterity. Okay. This is closer. This is your gap closer. Okay. Alright, that makes sense. Fleet of foot. Hasten your step, increasing your movement speed. This is a short duration speed boost. Okay, so like a sprint. Round kick. Deliver a crushing round kick to your target, dealing a physical weapon. Okay, so these are the melee attacks. Dealing physical damage, granting you a chance to reset the cooldown of your Celestial Strike and 100 Fist abilities. This ability scales with your dexterity. Okay. So I think like Monk might benefit more if you go heavy on the dexterity, maybe, right? Because I think you're still the dodge, parry, and block are still going to go off of agility, so that is also important. Celestial Strike. Squarely strike your target, dealing weapon ratio damage plus physical damage, granting you Celestial Fury, and granting you a chance to activate Celestial Vitality. This ability can enhance your active style. This ability is mostly unchanged, but now also procs Celestial Vitality if your opponent's chakra is fractured. Okay. Seeing dividing. Is that a 2 or a D? Divering palm. Okay. Okay, we'll just go past. I promise you I'm literate. 100 Fist. Pummel your target in rapid succession, dealing weapon ratio damage for 4 times. Additionally, if your target is off balance, you have a chance to stun them. This attack shares a cooldown with Celestial Strike and can be reset by round kick ability. I wish it was like a roundhouse kick. That would be nice. Like round kick ability. Okay. The stun component can be triggered by Divering Palm. I think that's how you pronounce it. Palm, or a fighter feint ability. Quivering Palm. Okay, so QU. Okay, QU. English always QU. Quivering Palm. Strike through your target into. I thought that was a D. I'm so sorry, guys. Strike through your target into their soul, inflicting increasing debilitating effects with each strike. 1 strike knocks them off balance. 2 strikes knocks their chi, reducing their physical damage dealt. 3 strikes fracture their chakra, increasing their physical damage received. Okay, that's very cool. This ancient and mysterious technique layers buffs or debuffs on your opponent, several of which amplify the other abilities. Okay, your other abilities. All right, so they're going for like a more spiritual a more spiritual type of monk instead of the elemental monk. Although, if we look back here, I mean, we still got wind, moon, and sun. I mean, moon and sun might be more spiritual. Wind is certainly more elemental, in my opinion. They also have celestial strike. I don't know. I mean, like, I understand what they're trying to do, but it kind of feels like the monk, as far as like thematically goes, is a little bit all over the place. Still, just a little bit. Alright, so these are melee attacks. We did Disarming Strike, Sweeping Kick, trip the nearby targets, Sweeping Kick, stunning them. Okay, so strike the rest of temporarily removing their weapons, reducing their physical damage dealt. Okay. Alright. Body Mastery. Monk training hones the both body and spirit, giving them a number of disciplines they can choose from. However, you can only have one body alteration ability active at a time. Okay. Spirit Sustenance. Suppress the need for sustenance, decreasing your food and drink consumption. Oh, very cool. So I think there's an ability when you're creating your character where you actually you get more health, but you consume way more food and drink. So this might be a good interplay between picking that ability, because I never picked that ability. But if I'm going to make a monk and I have a Spirit Sustenance, I can actually just balance that out if I need to. Or, you know, you can just have it as is and just drink a lot less food and drink, which is, you know, is important to some people. Slow breathing. Slow your breathing, decreasing your air consumption while underwater. Very cool. Falling Petal. Move with grace and of a falling petal, reducing the effect of gravity on your body. Very cool. This ability compounds with your safe fall skill. Very cool. Ascendant Body. Ascend your body to a state of perfection, simultaneously decreasing your food, drink, air consumption, and reducing your gravity effects. At the highest level of this mastery, monks command all the body disciplines at once. So I'm guessing, like, if you're going to specialize... Okay. I mean, this is going to be... So I'm assuming this is going to be less effective than choosing one of these. But at least you get all of these. Alright. Defensive cooldowns. Monks... I mean, Monk is another class that I really want to play. But because it's a leather class, I was, like, kind of held off on it. Because I just had too many leather classes out there. Defensive cooldowns. Monks keep their existing mend and stone stance cooldowns. While there seems to be like a lot of stances, and if they are gonna do the spiritual retheming of this, maybe they want to consider getting rid of stone stance or renaming it to something different. Stone stance cooldowns while gaining perfect focus, perfect your strike through a deep focus, causing melee attacks to temporarily land in as critical hits. Very cool. Cyclone Staff. Spin your staff rapidly to deflect incoming blows, greatly increasing your block chance and dealing weapon ratio damage. This is seems familiar to what the archer got with like their dodge. And I think it's dodge. That used to be their parry. I mean, which I wish they kind of like. The weird thing about Archer right now is that like they have a cooldown, or they have a cyclone, quote unquote cyclone staff ability where it's you have like dodge, right? You can dodge like almost 100% of your incoming attacks. But on the character sheet, your dodge is lower than your parry. So I don't know what's going on with there, but something to consider. Spin spin your staff rapidly to deflect incoming blows, greatly increasing your block chance while dealing weapon ratio damage with each successful block. Okay, so this is a little bit different, but this is a channeled ability that requires two-handed staff. Okay, very cool. Iron Fist. Forge your fist into iron, temporarily nullifying the effect of damage shield. Okay. Ethereal Body. Become nigh ethereal, increasing your agility and dodge chances. Very cool. Very cool, very cool utility. I mean, I do like the idea of, hey, I can stay on underwater for longer. Maybe the swimming trait might be a bit better for the class when you're making it. Something to consider. Let me go ahead and close this again, this window. Of course, it only appeared on. So now what I forgot to do was actually bring the window up, what I was reading off of. But on Kick, it's able to show, and that's why yeah, so you're supposed to see that, but unfortunately I gotta remember that I have a studio mode. Alright, so we're fully buffed up. We're gonna go ahead and go out and do some leveling. If you're just joining us, hey, thanks for stopping by. Coming back in, hey. Thanks for coming back in. We can go ahead and charge this skeleton. I do like how the character holds, at least how the human holds the greatsword. We'll eventually get our. I mean, we should be able to afford it. We should get our lumberjack axe. Oh, that's the other thing, because there's a weird bug where if I charge an enemy, it'll just hold me in place for a minute. I'm not really sure I like that. And I'll have to take a look at where I'm at with my class quest, because I'm not really sure if I finished it or not. Got a curious jackal. Go and charge this battle cry. Target's too far away. There we go. Do a rend. Okay, so that is the unnerving shout is an AoE ability, so be careful when you're firing that off. Double check OBS, make sure we're okay. So yeah, I just gotta get used to if I'm gonna be bringing up the browser. I just gotta get used to it. But you know what? This is actually the unnerving shout's really good for ads. Oh, that's interesting. Did they? We'll take that. Why not? So far, I am liking the damage of the tank. Damage is really important when you're dealing with mobs, especially in the lower levels, and even into the higher levels, because you want to mitigate your damage received. And one way to do that is just really damaging the mob that you're facing off of. So that was rather funny. No, only on Kick it will show that I had the browser up, but before that, you guys are just tuning in. I basically did the exact opposite. I just had that browser up the entire time, and I was just talking and running around, beating on mobs. It was only until I got back in town that I checked OBS. I was like, oh, I got this window still up. Sorry, guys. So anyways, Gotta knock off the, I guess I am a little bit nervous today because, I mean, one of the reasons why I did start this channel was one of the other reasons was to work on my public speaking. If you've been around me at any point in time and been watching my streams consistently, you know I've said this in the past, but for people who are just seeing me for the first time, that is one of the things that I do have. It's kind of like a fear of publicly speaking in front of people. And so, even if you're in the audience and just kind of hanging out and lurking, you're helping me, so I really appreciate that. At some point, we will take a look at how well the fighter does for group invites. I know the fighter is a tank, so the tanks are a bit more of a hot commodity than a DPS. Getting into a group as a DPS is a bit more arduous. And the reason being is because there's a lot of DPS out there. Right? They all have different flavors, but at the end of the day, what they're supposed to be doing, providing damage, right? So you got your healers and your tanks kind of stand out a little bit more. You do have your crowd control people. So I believe the large doom match should be level 5, but it doesn't seem like it is anymore. I do remember these guys being a bit harder. But that damage is really nice. It's not as much as the rogue, for sure, but for what it is, it's good. And it is going to be somewhat dark out here. I am liking the new... I think this is a new weather effect that they added. The thunder and lightning. Very nice. I was seeing that in Evershade. That was new. Alright, so we got ourselves a rattlesnake. Now I could potentially go up to Evershade and get a soulbind there. It is somewhat better for us as far as money-wise goes. Although we're not doing too shabby on coin. We haven't been poisoned yet. So that's good, because these rattlesnakes can poison you, which can be a little bit hard to think. Oh! I wasn't even paying attention! Ding! Nice! And so one of the good things about being a martial class instead of like a caster class, we, at every level, get a new ability. So we're going to head back to town anyways. We're kind of full on our... kind of getting full on our... I can't put that in there. I can put it in here though, if I really need to. That's the tailoring kit. Okay, so this needs to go here. And of course this is just a game of inventory hero. It's always a mini game. Yeah, so we just need another bag. And off stream, if I'm gonna go back on my druid, I'll get back on Indrin and make some cloth satchels for this guy. But yeah, it's definitely, I definitely can feel the trade-off a little bit with the druid and the fighter. Being able to warp around is very, very nice. people are tipping like a gold. If only I can port my own characters, that would be fantastic. So I'm assuming on this character we're probably going to be binding our wounds quite a bit. And I do kind of like that. Kind of immerses you into the class. Fantasy. A little bit more. I think Ranger is going to get a little bit more in depth with that. Man, they got a lot of classes to go, and so the next class that we should receive is going to be Cleric. Hopefully, it was mentioned, but it's surprising that Fighter and because Sean mentioned Cleric first, and then Fighter and Monk. But Fighter and Monk came out in the update, so I guess when it was ready, and like Monk and Fighter are pretty straightforward classes, anyways. But despite the initial chaos of rolling out this particular update, which if you weren't there for, your bank items were missing, and then like book skill sets were disappearing too. They did get that fixed within a day or so. This update has added a lot to the game. Is that a crack staff? Nice. So if you don't know, crack staffs are worth 5 silver. It's always a good thing to hand out whenever I get it. If I'm on like my level 20, I'll just hand it out to like a noob I see. Yeah, typically at 5 silver. So I mean, if you ever see a cracked staff or a cracked staff on a shady vendor, which is only 3 silver, buy it and then you can resell it. But yeah, 5 silver is a lot of money to like a person just starting out. So we'll go ahead and sell that. I have my copper sword or long sword on me in case I want to do sword and board. A rusty scimitar, woo, rusty mace. We can go ahead and turn those into tarnished to get a little bit more out of them, but for right now we'll go ahead and sell it because we just need the inventory space. Now, even though there's one main, I mean, you always kind of want to have some crafting on all your characters. So blacksmithing is a good idea. I think all the ones you turn into like tarnished weapons, or you can use sharpening stones on. I think those are all trivial, no matter what skill level you're at. You just need the material. Kind of nice in a way, because before, if you tried it and you failed, you would lose the weapon. So now you no longer lose it, but you don't get any experiencing from it since it's all trivial. As long as you know the recipes, you're gonna be good. So we gotta go all the way back to Westgate for our fighter. And that's the only downside of Northgate. But man, we cleared that pretty quickly. I think I already had quite a bit of XP on this guy beforehand. One of the other things I do like about this community is that if they see you and you're a new player, they'll just hand out stuff to you. Before we went on our druid kick for quite a while, I was playing around with this guy, and some guy just handed me this weapon that's 25 AC, 3 strength, 1 stamina, 2 dex, 10 HP. It's a really good item, at least for like a level 1 or 2 character when I was playing on this guy. So that at least the what I'm trying to say is that the community in beta is very helpful, and there's there's always those kind of like odd type of characters that you're going to run into that your personality is not going to jive with. But that's kind of just humanity, man, right? Can't get along with everybody. We need to go to the barracks, which is, I don't think there's a way through there. At least not a way I want to take. Oh, by the way, this bath. Let's take a look at the baths here. Now, my character doesn't need charisma at all, but if your character does, let's see, you begin to bathe. I'm bathing. I get a 20-minute buff that increases my charisma by 10. That's huge. That's a big amount. So if your character is maybe like Druid, right? Druid kind of needs charisma if they're going to use a particular ability like Charm. And that's one of my criticisms of Druid, but I mean it's risk versus reward, and I get it. It's just kind of more of a nuanced ability. But if you need charisma boosted, you can get a 20-minute buff from that bath area. I wish there was one in Evershade. I don't think there is. It's actually back here. So funny story, I was first time I ever played this game, I got lost in the city for an hour and a half. Or maybe 40 minutes. I don't really remember it. Just a long time. And I was following these signs and I was like, okay, Garrison, so I would just follow the road. So I was like, you know what, I can look at my abilities and I can figure this out. But I would just follow this road around and I would get lost right around here. And I want to know where the barracks is at. I go over here, but I never for whatever reason, I never came up here, and I was like, oh, this is the barracks. And again, we're seeing that lighting engine come into play with the lovely shadows. Alright. We got our ranger instructor, we got our archer instructor. We shouldn't be in this area, we should be over here. Make sure I got everything set up correctly on OBS, because now I'm paranoid. Alright, we are at level 6. Level 6, what do we get at level 6? We get Armor Break. Armor Break. Break your armor of a target, decreasing their armor class by 1. Level 1 to L1 to 26. Level 60. Okay, so one of the things I'm confused about is okay, well, if I don't get this ability at level 1, then why mention this? Okay, well, I mean, it's a little thing we can let slide, right? Not a huge deal. Not a huge deal for us. Well, I didn't spend a silver on that. What the hell? Okay, so we got parry, block, dodge, double attack at level 15. That's very obtainable. Do wield at level 10. Very nice. I used to think getting to level 10 was an arduous journey, and now that I'm level 24 on my druid, I'm oh, that's easy to get. Alright, what do we get? Distracting taunt, clobber, intimidation, challenging arrow, Ren 2, shield bash, cross cut. Yeah, so everything's gonna be a bit into the martial abilities. As we should expect from the fighter. So nothing really too utility-wise. It does what it says on the tin, basically. Well, I mean, like there is utility on the fighter, right? You can be DPS on the fighter. You're not gonna do as much DPS as maybe a rogue or a monk, but having an additional fighter in the group is not a detriment to your DPS output, is what I know. So they can either be a tank or they can be a DPS. Right, let's take a look. Let's go to the cook and we'll sell a few things before we head out. If you're just joining us, hey, welcome. Coming back in, hey, welcome back. Glad to have you. So while I was off on a hiatus and local rest, because one of the things that I was having an issue with was when I do a stream for like 8 hours, and after that 8-hour one, like I would have this weird type of thing that would happen with my voice. During shorter streams, it would start to really go out, and so I decided to take a break from broadcasting. But in doing so, I started playing another game, which is called Abiotic Factor, which I enjoy immensely. And I thought about streaming it for a bit. All right. Let's see, we have raw jackal meat. Now in Night Harbor, since like it's kind of hard to get money around Night Harbor when you're first starting out, what you can do is you can hand this into a certain NPC in the North area, or in Northgate area. It's a farmer. She'll give you rations or a torch if you hand that in, if you want to do that. You can do that for a while, so you don't have to pay for rations, food or water for a bit to help you save on money. If you are so inclined, so too with the rat meat, and plus it gives you XP. So we'll go ahead and low quality. We'll put that in the bank for our druid friend so he can break that down and get some leather scraps for us. Alright, we'll figure this out. Bathroom, rattlesnake skin, low quality jackal pelt. Because on this character, we really don't need to get up our leather working. We'll try smithing, although it does require a little bit of leather working, but realistically speaking, I don't think we really need anything for this character. I think the rat tooth increased. Alright, raw bat meat. Let's see if we can cook that raw bat meat. Now, if you're seeing this for the first time, understand that there are hidden recipes on here. So if I just need to cook the bat meat, I should be able to cook it. Now, I might fail on it, but it seems like I can do it. Okay. Let's take a look. Alright, so yeah, so I went from 3 to 6, so I doubled the price of it. Something to consider. Well, if you're trying to make money in the Night Harbor area. Got all our friends here. Always nice to see. It's kind of nice to be back in Night Harbor, just to kind of see a lot of people running around. Makes the city feel alive. I did end up taking a... Oh, we can break that down. What else can we do? Spellbook, spellbook. I think that's for my emergency. I can put that back on. There we go. I need that. Oh, I already have a mining pickaxe on me. Nice. Okay. One of the things that I've seen people do is they've been able to put it on here. I don't know if they've been able... I've never seen them actually use it, but I typically put my tool set up here. Just so I have them in reach when in case I need to, like, oh, okay, I need to go pick some mine, need to go, you know, gather some material. And it's probably a good idea to always have like a gathering profession on your character if they're out in the wild, whether it be herbalism or mining. Lumberjacking certainly should be on all characters. Let's see, I do have a lumberjacking axe. Okay, so let's go ahead and set this guy up for success. And I got a brittle sharpening stone. And one of the things that we want to... Oh, it's okay. Small field pack. We can probably... I'll put that in there for now. We got water skins. We can probably sell that. I'll show you where to sell it. Oh, the bones. Yeah, the bones you can either turn into the paladins. I probably would recommend at least having one crafting character in Evershade or Phalendrel. And the reason being is to turn in the bones for those auth rewards. So let's see. It's not really gonna serve me a whole bunch over here. Let's see, what is this? This low quality. Yeah, it's my inventory. Okay. Alright. I mean, since it's nighttime, what we could do is we could just have this in here and put our torch in here. Where'd that go? Okay. We'll take a look at the... We have a Shari Warrior Ashura Warrior Necklace. Let's take a look at our journal here. See when's the last time we kind of talked to anybody. Quite a bit back. Who was... Help each other again, unless your status changes, of course. Alright, still... Okay, so this was quite a ways back. While you've got some downtime, visit the other towers along the sea western wall, make yourself known to the captain. To a captain. Good for our cannons, get to know the future leadership. You've earned it, recruit. Okay. Huh. That's interesting. I don't know if they have that in here yet. But yeah, Yeah. But it's no drop. That's kind of the problem, so I can't really get rid of it. So I can't put it in the bank. I mean, I think you should be able to put a no drop item in the bank. It could just be soulbound, I mean, right? Are we on the western wall? Let's quickly look around the western wall. Let's do some exploration. Just for a little bit. Okay, so we're on the western wall. This is Westgate. We're said to go take a look at a captain. don't know if I made my point about when I was on hiatus with the vocal rest. Oh, watch captain. Okay. Let's go bounty. So this is not what I want. It's in the main, right? I don't know why my chat box ends up in the combat. Where are you going? Okay. All right, that's pretty much it. Can I give him this? Nope. Okay. So that's pretty much. I think that's pretty much the end of the class quest. There we go. Since it's nighttime, we got to put on a torch. Since we are a filthy human. How do I get out of here? There we go. All right. So we're gonna go sell that resin to the survivalists. We're gonna pick up more wood anyways, so we don't need. We're just gonna constantly get more and more resin, so we don't need to have all that on us unless it's a good source of copper, coin. Guys over here. Technically, I could wear the. Could wear that. That doesn't look good, does it? I will wear it for right now. That's fine. Alright, survivalist. I believe this is the guy that we need to sell. Yep, there we go. We can sell that. And if you're doing the turning quest for like the rations and the torches and the Northgate area to the farmer, you can always come back and sell your torches to this guy for quite a bit. You can also make torches and sell to this guy. It's always an option. Alright, I do believe I need to... What else do I get? Why do I have this? Where? Oh, you know what I have this for? It's for my archer. My human archer. Okay. We probably don't need this anymore then, because I'm not really going to be playing the human archer. Because I don't believe we're going to be keeping our characters. I mean, I think we're going to keep our characters on the beta server, it's just that the beta server is going to go away until an indeterminate amount of time, and then we're going to have to re-roll on a different server anyway, so whatever. So I don't think we're going to be transferring. I mean, it's kind of up in the air because they have indicated that we would keep these characters, but my impression was, hey, the playtest characters are going to get wiped, and that kind of makes sense. I miss doing this. I miss broadcasting for a bit. But I might actually broadcast abiotic factor at some point. I am having a lot of fun with that game. I do need to I think it'd be really cool to have a group to play that with. They did come out with an update where you have a chemistry set, you got pets you can level up. Now, it's kind of a grindy game. I mean, like it's a grind that you kind of enjoy. It's oddly immersive for what it is. And so the devs did a really good job. It's a small dev team too, but I mean they did a really good job bringing back kind of like that 90s retro Half-Life feel. So they did a really good job with that. But here we are. As far as like the fighter goes in this game, I do like it. I like it a lot more than what it was because it was kind of boring to play. And again, like I knew they were going to change it, right? We only got like 15 abilities, and then the next ability that we were waiting for is like at level 55. So I stopped playing fighter altogether, but now I can come back and enjoy the main character that I've always wanted to play to begin with. Not that we will be getting rid or not playing the druid anymore. It's just that this is the character that I've always wanted. But I think your first character should be a druid. Just my personal opinion. I'm gonna rest up here. Do we have shoot on our... Let's see, skills. We don't have shoot. There we go. Oh, we got sense heading. That's interesting. Very cool. And we'll hand these in to the farmer. Just so you guys can see where that, we'll save our torch. Just so you guys can see where you can, get some rations in case you're struggling. Just joining us, hey, welcome. Coming back in, hey, welcome back. Remember, we're just about topped off on our fighter here. We'll go ahead and move out. We'll gather some wood. We'll make sure that we're ready for a camp. But first, we're going to turn in some stuff for the farmer. You can also turn in fire beetle eggs to the farmer. Forgot her name. Does get some taking used to not having speed of the wild and going at regular speed. But this game is huge anyways. Now, I do see a lot of people with their mounts, and they're off their mounts, and they're kind of running alongside their mounts, and I'm not sure why that is. Maybe they're just faster than their mounts. But it's always fun. It's always fun to see someone riding along on a horse or a donkey. A goblin on a donkey is always funny to me. Okay, so we can turn in the rat meat. We can turn in jackal meat. So I think it's jackal meat, beetle eggs, something else. We can go ahead and actually break that down in the cloth. Forgot to sell the rattlesnake skin. That's okay. Got large bat fur. Large bat fur. Well, oh, we can't actually. Non-stackable. Okay. So we are. What are we? We definitely passed level 5, so we can do heavy cloth bandages too. We're gonna try to use up our regular cloth bandages. We should continue making those until we are fully leveled up. and our bind wounds. Here at Northgate, Northgate's a very interesting place. There are some mobs who can probably potentially... There we go. Okay. That would potentially be at our level. I think they're over here by the crypt, and maybe over here, as far as bandits go. We are going to need the wood. I think it's 8 wood for a campfire. Having resin on your guy is probably not the worst idea in the world. Oh, yeah, brittlestone. So we're gonna right click on brittlestone. We're not gonna do that just yet. How much do we have? We have 4. You can probably put that in a satchel. So this is the area I'm talking about. We're just gonna... But actually, what we'll do, since it's morning, we'll switch off to our two-handed sword. It's our brittlestone on it, and now we got 2 more strength. So we just hit a little bit harder. Uh-oh. Okay. Okay, yeah, this is gonna be a hostile mob anyways. We'll do battle cry. We'll get our... Yep, almost up to 30. Let's break armor. Did that work? Oh, okay, so it did. How long does it last, though? Oh, stacks up to 3 times. Very cool. I don't know how long it lasts because I don't have sense magic. Cemetery rat, okay. These guys are a bit harder than the regular rats. So you don't want to come over here if you're like level 1. But this is a good area that people tend to forget about, including myself. One of the things I do appreciate about like the caster classes is that they get a lot of cool things that you just can't do on a fighter. That guy is going high speed. That was a high-speed gnome. Go ahead and use our cloth bandage. Ooh, skeleton. We can do a battle cry. I don't know if we're gonna be able to take that guy. I mean, we can try. Shit. Okay, we gotta pull back. Alright. This has already gone sideways. If I was on my druid, I'd be very scared of this situation. Did I do battle cry? I did do battle cry, okay. that AC is helping us out a lot. So investing into armor, can confirm, because usually I'd probably be really hurting me by now, but I'm not taking a lot of damage, especially from like a yellow con at this. Now this might change if we're going to be up into our level 20s, but so far this is actually pretty good for us. So now I just got hit pretty good. Unfortunately, I don't have... There we go. I mean, technically I should have taken this guy out first, but... So when you're in a situation like this, you kind of want to, like, limit the damage as much as possible before you engage. So taking out the mob that you can take out fastest to limit damage intake is probably a good idea. Hey, rawhide scraps. Very nice. I mean, I'll take the script. I wonder if I can turn that in. Alright, we'll go ahead and use our cloth bandage. We'll sit down for a second. For just a second. How you guys doing? Alright, we can do another bind wounds. I mean, there is an area around Night Harbor where there's nothing but skeletons and zombies. Alright, we'll do Battle Cry. We'll charge on in. We'll start hitting his armor. So I mean, we're punching above our weight, which is good. Which is really good. I don't know if it's gonna stay that way, but we're doing it. I am missing. I wish Kick did some damage, just some, a little bit, guys. But you know. Alright, let's take a look at how much. Okay, we're probably not going to be able to level to level 7 this stream. This is a very chill spot. Very cool. And we still haven't unlocked all the abilities with the fighter. Alright. I mean, we're doing good, though. Alright, let's go ahead and do a battle cry. Charge on in there. I mean, it feels nice to like stand up to a mob, and I don't have to use like all these like little tricks to try to like grind one down. I will test this. We'll test the druid off stream just to see where it's at. It's not hitting me a whole lot, so I mean I am getting some really good mitigation as far as damage goes. Alright, let's take a look at our cloth bandages. We'll go ahead and make a couple of these. Yeah, there we go. That's the issue. What is this? What is this? Why am I... That's a weird bug. I don't know if that's intentional or not. I'll have to take another look into it a little bit. And I should really stand closer to my mic. Alright, so we... Oh, nice. Okay, we got the full benefit. I think we got the full benefit of it now. Alright. So they spawn relatively quickly over here, which is good. We just want to be... Let's bring them over here, just a little bit. Oh, he hit me pretty hard. That was a critical. Reduces damage. I mean, if we get cleaved with this two-handed sword, I mean that's gonna provide like a lot of group utility as far as like AoE. Yeah, he's hitting me pretty hard, so I mean this guy might be a little bit higher than we're used to. But I mean for a yellow con, I mean that was fairly tame. Let's go ahead and bandage up our wounds here. We got about 4 minutes on our rested buff. Let's go back to... Let's find some more wood. See how much wood do we have? Okay, 6. Alright, this should be... Rotting skeleton. Easy win. We need the cloth. Bones are good too. Yeah, look at that. That's weird, isn't it? Can't like just like run off. Maybe that's intentional. I don't know. Feels horrible. But I do like this game. I mean, it is a good game. It does, like, if you're wondering if like it recaptures the spirit of the golden age of MMOs, it does. Small, scrappy indie dev team, kind of working out of the garage type of vibe I get. All right. Go and charge that Ashara Scout. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. All right. Cemetery rat. We got. How are we on experience? Okay. We can make a campfire right here, right? Hopefully it doesn't rain. We can rest a little bit before we go back into combat. So that's why it's a good reason to keep a lumberjacking axe on you at all times. And I would also probably recommend getting into alchemy with your fighters. I'll have to take a look at on our druid friend and see what I can make. I know it gets rather interesting rather quick, but I think the higher level ones are, you're only going to encounter those materials once you're like level 20. There are also different resources in different areas of the map, so I mean, depending on, well, I guess you know what, I don't need alchemy. What I do need is I need a character that can do alchemy, because there are, like I was saying, there's different resources in different areas of the world. Having a druid doing herbalism is probably not a bad idea. We're at 13 minutes for our rested bonus. We're gonna get to 20. We're at 17 minutes. Instead of going all the way back to town and then coming all the way back here, you know, we kind of have a little base camp. Kind of nice. Right? A little bit. And of course, you can cook stuff on the campfire if you really need to. I wonder if I can cook this leg. Can I cook this leg? No. No cooking of that leg. Alright, let's go ahead and battle cry. Charge on in. Take down his armor. Stacks 3 times. We want to use every advantage that we can get. And again, I think like some gathering skills on like your fighters is a really good idea. Certainly mining, so you can get those brittle stone. You could turn it into sharpening stones. So yeah, I guess blacksmithing might be a thing. Or maybe not. How much is this? I'll take at least one, figure it out. There's all those guys that are hostile to us. What about this guy? Skeleton? Hey. Blue con. Blue cons are easy. So that AC with the fighter is proving to be worth its weight in gold now. Open up my inventory at 116. I mean, I'm almost at my druid level 20, which is should tell you something. Nice. Oh, nice. Okay. We'll go ahead and buff back on up. Charge on in. Take down his armor bag. Rend. Armor break. We'll do another armor break. Another rend. I mean, for a white con, that's a pretty good exchange. Nice. I like that. Rusty greatsword. I mean, we could take it and sell it if we really need to. So go ahead and open up our pack. We'll put all these guys in here. Okay. We need to bandage up. Do I have... We want to keep making cloth bandages until we can... I don't know if... Is it 4, the limit, or is it 5? I'm not sure. We'll see. But these guys, these cemetery rats are very good XP for what we're doing. Oh, parry increased. Okay, yeah, because we just leveled up. Let's take a look at our skill sheet. What are we doing here? Yeah, I would say, I mean, like, having gathering professions on your characters, on any of your characters, is actually a really good idea. So if I'm out here and I see a mining node, right, I can just grab it and then I can give it to my druid. Druid can do the blacksmithing for me. Take on the scarab here first. Battle cry. Armor break. So we're in a bad position. We'll do unnerving shout. Reduce the damage that's incoming to us. Alright, now we got the skeleton. I don't know if we're going to be able to take the skeleton. That was really unexpected. Or at least I didn't see it coming. But you know, I'm not the greatest fighter of all time. Break. Rend. I don't know how long that actually lasts. Oh, this guy's tough. This guy is tough. It is going to be a bit tough to take this guy on. Let's see if we can use our heavy bandage. Did he interrupt my bandaging wounds? What? That's cool. And terrifying at the same time. What in the living fuck? Did he? That's some horse shit. And then I got the recently bandaged. Okay. Very cool. We survived that. Very neat. Now we are going to have to rest a little bit, lick our wounds. That was a little bit unexpected. That's okay. I mean, we're halfway through the level, so I mean, not too bad, not too shabby. And plus, you know, it's going to be a shorter stream today. But it's good to knock off the dust, get off the rust after recuperating for some time. And also, yeah, for like the past week, I haven't been getting good enough sleep where typically if you have like ADHD, right? So like I do. For whatever reason, sometimes my circadian rhythm will just like flip over to like nighttime, and I can't sleep for like, it can be at least 24 hours. And I'm not sure why that happens, but it definitely does. Alright, we're binding our wounds. 9. Okay, very cool. Alright. Neat. Yeah, I just wish there was a faster way to get cloth. Just in this area, Night Harbor is not really advantageous. I mean, in Evershade it is. Shaded dunes in a certain area, but I mean, you have to be, I think, like around like level 10 before you start really seeing those material drops. Yeah, we still got like 34 minutes on our. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Take on the cemetery rat. These guys are pretty easy. I'm not gonna rush in. Should do battle cry though. Where's my lovely wife? Joins us in channel. Hope work's going well, but I'm about to end the stream pretty soon. Got everything in order. Well, I knocked off, basically knocking out the rust. Meaning, basically meaning, yeah, I'm a bit rusty doing a stream after like not streaming for a week. But I hope work is going well. If you guys are just joining us, welcome. If you're coming back in, hey, welcome back. Good to have you. We're testing out the fighter for a bit. Testing out the AC changes. Was on my druid, and I basically kitted this guy out with some mostly tarnished bronze, but I mean, it ain't bad. I mean, I'm up to 116. That's almost the same level as my druid AC. So I'm not seeing a whole lot of damage, especially like even fighting like yellow cons. I'm not seeing a whole lot of damage incoming. So the AC seems to be working. I'm glad they changed that, because like what they did, at least in the patch notes, was like, oh yeah, the mobs just gave you like a flat damage, and I was like, oh, I'm like, why would they do that? And I guess it was part of their Dangerous World update. Did this guy leave us anything? Who's this guy? This guy. The guy seems friendly. And we got enough for another campfire as we venture out to SGS. There we go. I mean, this area is fine for what we're doing. It is about to be nighttime, so I will have to take out my torch. These guys are level 5. Yeah, so the cemetery rats, hey, over here, like, people tend to forget about it, including myself. But yeah, I don't see a whole lot of players here. Yeah, this guy is doing 1 point of damage to me. Unless he gets a lucky hit. The damage is not too bad. Yeah, let's go outward and explore a little bit. Before I have to log. I mean, I do got a student I gotta take care of today. I don't know if I'll have enough time to be back on today, but here to get some practice in, some broadcasting practice before I have a longer stream tomorrow. So I think there's some crocodiles over here. Let's check it out. These are the times when I really do miss my druid and the speed of the wild. But later I'm definitely going to test the druid out, see how well he stands up against mobs, or face tanking mobs. You should be able to do that to a certain degree. You do get some damage shields. So I mean, like, if you want to utilize all of your tools in your tool set, then you're probably gonna want to use the prickly berry or bristly berry, or whatever it is the guy has. Look here. Well, probably not gonna make that. There we go. Yeah, not too bad. I guess the only issue here as far as leveling goes, I mean, there's a lot more. I think this area is a bit more fleshed out. But things like the mobs that you actually need are really just like kind of like grouped up. So it is. They do encourage you to actually, you know, group up and talk to other people. But we don't have time for that right now. Of course, there's a lot of little mobs around here. Let's see. Take a look at the giant beetles. We could probably take this guy on. Since we're level 6. I mean, the fighter, yeah, the fighter is surprisingly good. There we go. Not bad. Not a bad return for Iron Mike here. Fish balance, huh? I don't think these guys are linked, right? These guys aren't linked. Yeah, okay. So that is quite nice. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to change out my loadout, because you guys can't really see. I mean, I can see just fine on my screen, and plus, you know, it is at 100% gamma. It is an incredibly dark game. Not necessarily a criticism, but for streaming, it's suboptimal. Getting a dual wield at level 10 is going to be really interesting with the fighter, because I haven't had a character. Well, I mean, I do have characters that do have it, I just haven't leveled one up. So the other one was Spellblade, and I've been meaning to take a look at Spellblade again, but we just kind of went on our druid kick. And I just kind of got sick of other classes. But now that they changed everything around, we might have to retake a look at that at some point in time. But I'm so glad that we got a plate wearing class, because that is refreshing. At least for me as a player. The rollout was a little bit rough, but you know, hey, we just gotta give a little bit of grace to the development team. They're kind of the underdogs right now. As far as like the, I mean, think about it. Like, how much does it actually take to make an MMO from scratch? Almost scratch, right? They're using the Unity engine for this. It takes quite a deal of it, right? They post how much money they spend on it. Now, I've been watching them for 3 or 4 years, but they've been developing it for about 5. So I think I came in around after they stopped using the capsule people, and I like the art direction and the art style, and so I would periodically come back and check in on the devs in this game. I was really excited for it, and it's almost out. It's almost in early access. Beta certainly has been fun. Now, they do have a habit of pushing things back, just like we were supposed to get the deep at the end of July, and we didn't. I don't know the reasoning for it, but obviously it's just probably not ready. And they're still an all-volunteer staff. And I think they put in $160,000 into developing all of this already. And that's a lot. I mean, that's like a small house, right? Especially for a bunch of guys who are just making this out of their garage. I say garage, but I mean, obviously it's a bit more complicated than that. Alright. Here we go. I mean, we're doing pretty well with the one-handed and torch. Better than expected. Go ahead and give ourselves just a little bit more damage. I think these are level 5, so we're doing all right. I don't need fish bones. At least I don't think I need fish bones. I think it might be an ingredient for alchemy. Pretty sure it's an ingredient for alchemy. Let's see. A battle cry. We'll go ahead and re-up on that. Where'd he go? Where did my mob go? I sent him into oblivion. Oh, there he is. Now he's gone. I think these guys are dark blue, so I mean we're getting a little bit more XP than we should out of blue con. I know at level 20, fighting these deep blue con guys, is a bitch. They did make some changes how the mobs behave and how they do damage, so again, I gotta check it. I gotta check it out. But yeah, typically before this update, I was certainly having a rough time soloing at level 20 with the druid. Alright. Engage. Yeah, not too bad. Alright, go ahead and charge on in. You guys are just joining us. Hey, welcome. Coming back in, welcome back. We're on Iron Mike. Fighting the good fight. Making short work out of these crocodile hatchlings. And that AC is helping quite a bit. There we go. I mean, it's just like a conveyor belt of XP. At least for us. Not too shabby. So the unnerving shout, I believe, decreases their damage dealt for like, okay, so like 30 seconds, but it's an AoE, so we want to be really careful when we cast that. Not that we can't handle these guys, just something that, you know, you gotta keep in mind. You think you can handle it, then by all means, go wild with it. Let's battle cry again. Alrighty. See if we can beat the clock. What I mean by that is, I have a student I gotta tutor. And my actual job is tutoring kids in math, reading, and science. So I'm dealing with, at least today's appointment is an autistic child. He's able to do some advanced math. The issue is that he's having problems with his simple addition. Like, it's really hard for him to comprehend what 3 plus 2 is. So, I mean, like, but once he gets it, like, once he goes on a roll, he's like, oh, okay. But every time I see him, like, he kind of like forgets where he's at, and then he makes up for it. But I think some things start to stick, and other things like don't. So, teaching him how to, you know, hey, like, what's 8 plus 3? All right. So if you're gonna do 8 plus 3, you're gonna stick 8 in your head, and then you're gonna go 3 forward, right? You want to start with the larger number. Like certain like simple strategies like that. Like, he tends to forget. Great kid though. But once he gets it, you know, once he has those light bulb moments, makes it all worth it. I mean, even though, like, the job pays pretty well, it's just, I mean, there is nothing more satisfying than seeing a kid have that light bulb moment. So I do have to get ready here pretty soon. But wow, yeah, this we are improving our offensive skills as we take these guys on, making this a little bit easier than what it's already been. And we're getting pretty decent XP from it, too. Surprised no one else is here. But if you're just joining us, hey, welcome. Or coming back in, welcome back. we go. Alright. I can take on more. Let's try to get them in the frontal area so they don't daze me. That AC, I mean, very nice. It's very, very nice. Yeah, because mobs used to do just a flat damage, man. That was rough to go through. Crocodile hide. Can we tan crocodile hide, or do we just sell it to the merchant? I think we still just sell it to the merchant. Last time I checked, I think I tried to do it one time and it just it didn't work. See if we can. I'm surprised that, I mean, unnerving shout, we don't really need to do that unless we want to pull more people in. And it is kind of refreshing not having to worry about mana, right? But there are some significant trade-offs to it, like, you know, we don't have a lot of mobility, you know, at least in localized space, or, you know, porting people around. I mean, we can charge from mob to mob if we really need to. Which is fun, but that itself has like a certain range. Joined again by my lovely wife and channel. Gently reminded me to start wrapping this up because I gotta pick her up. She's a caregiver, and typically she has 12-hour shifts. Today she only had a 4-hour shift, plus I gotta work today, so the reason why I was streaming today was, you know, hey, knock off the rest, get back in the swing of things, like, because I was on vocal break. My voice box was just cutting out on me. Also had a very weird sleep schedule, but I think I got that solved. Alright. See who's in chat. Nobody I recognize, all new guys. Welcome. Glad to have you guys here. Now, typically I do give shoutouts to the lurkers. You don't need to respawn, but like today, we're probably going to do it. I know some people have some social anxiety. Although I was told not to do it, but you know, I kind of like doing it because it's like, hey, you know what, hey, thanks for sticking around, thanks for helping me out with my public speaking. That's typically one of the reasons why I started this channel. Because I am changing my vocation into education from IT. So one day I'm going to be giving a lecture in front of a class, so I need to be able to continually have the ability to talk about subjects that I know. And even if you're just lurking and sitting in channel, I mean, you're helping me, so I appreciate that. And hopefully I get to, well, the vocation while I'm changing the specific subject I want to teach is philosophy. But that's way down the line. I want to get my doctorates. So I picked a good school. I'm just waiting to enroll at this point. And I'm thinking about my dissertation, what it's going to be, and I think it's probably going to be in the mind-body problem. Or having something to do with the mind-body problem. Because I find that really interesting to figure out what consciousness is. Although I'm not trying to answer what the meaning of life is, but I'm trying to figure out certain things that just kind of elude us as far as what this experience is, right? Like life. Like what is this? Like what is existence? How do we exist? I'm not sure we can answer why we exist, but with the mind-body problem, and why it's called the mind-body problem, because nobody knows what consciousness is still to this day, despite all of our science, despite all of our neuroscience advancements, we still don't know. So it's kind of the job of philosophy to kind of pick up the slack on that. Take a look at our... Oh, we're almost there. Almost there, guys. Almost. So sorry. I mean, it's not obviously not a philosophy channel, but you'll have to humor me every so often. We've almost. These are pretty good. This is pretty good XP for blue cons. Right? I think they're just like one level below. So, and again, that's why when I was bringing up earlier in the chat, but bringing up earlier in the stream is that it might not be beneficial to go out and try to find like a white con, right? Or even fight one. It might be just more beneficial to take on blue cons by yourself. If you can't find a group, or if you don't have time for a group. Like today, I only have maybe like 3 hours to do it, or close to 3 hours to the stream today. Right, that's probably not going to be enough time to find a group, get a group, and stay for a bit. Like I can't really do that. Now something odd is happening with like group grouping, and I've never really seen this where people are finding their replacements going out or going above and beyond what really should be expected of you is they're finding replacements. So like if you're a healer, you go out and you try to find a replacement for your group before you leave. That's something I never experienced, but I've only experienced it in this game. So although I haven't played MMOs in quite a while, so this is the first one that I get to really experience the crowd and the social aspect of it again. All right, guys, so that's gonna wrap it up. We got to level 7. I don't think we're getting anything special at level 7. Level 10, we do get Dual Wield, which is gonna be nice. We'll go ahead and camp out here. Thank you guys for joining. I really do appreciate that. But we're gonna have to call it here. A little bit of a rough start for the stream today, but that's okay. Appreciate you guys sticking around for all those shenanigans. But I will be on tomorrow. We will be talking about the we'll be taking a look at the fighter again. Fighter is quite fun. I am enjoying it. They did a pretty good job with it. So again, thanks guys. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you out there.